Here you go, sweetie.
Hey,
Hey, I've been waiting.
Waitress fed a hungry little boy for years. 15 years later, a luxury car stopped at her door. On a cold evening in a small town, a young waitress named Emily Parker noticed a little boy sitting alone at the corner of her diner. His face was pale, his clothes were torn, and his eyes revealed a deep hunger. He had no money, no family around, only silence and sadness. Without hesitation, Emily placed a warm plate of food in front of him. The boy's hands shook as he ate, but in his eyes there was gratitude she never forgot. From that day on, every time the boy appeared, Emily fed him, never asking for payment, never expecting anything in return. Emily wasn't wealthy. She worked long hours at the diner to pay her rent and take care of her ailing father. Yet she always found a way to save a meal for that boy. His name was Ethan, and over time, he became like family to her. He told her about his struggles, about how his mother worked endlessly but often couldn't provide enough food. For 7 long years, Emily made sure Ethan never went hungry. She saw him through his childhood, encouraging him to study, dream, and believe that life could be better. But Emily's own life wasn't easy. The diner eventually shut down, and she lost her only source of income. Struggling with bills and her father's worsening health, Emily sometimes questioned if she had done too much for Ethan, when she barely had enough for herself. Time passed and Ethan grew older, moving away. Emily wondered if he would ever remember the waitress who gave him meals when he had nothing. Life grew quieter, and Emily lived in a small, aging house, carrying memories of the boy she once helped. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped low and the sky turned golden, Emily sat on her old wooden porch, lost in thought. The street was usually empty, only the sound of crickets and the rustling of trees keeping her company. But suddenly, the silence broke. The deep hum of an engine approached from a distance. Emily squinted as the headlights grew brighter, stopping right in front of her modest little home. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw it wasn't just any car. It was a shiny black luxury car, unlike anything that ever passed her street. She froze, puzzled, whispering to herself, "Surely they must have the wrong address." The car door opened slowly, and out stepped a tall, confident young man dressed in an elegant suit. Emily clutched her chest, her eyes widening in disbelief, as if her mind couldn't process what she was seeing. The young man walked toward her with a gentle smile, each step echoing louder in her heart. And then it hit her, his eyes, his face, that familiar warmth she had once known. Her breath caught, her lips trembled as she whispered, "Ethan, is it really you?" The young man's eyes glistened with tears, and he nodded, his voice breaking with emotion. "Yes, Emily, it's me. No longer the hungry little boy you once fed, but the man your kindness helped me become." Emily's throat tightened, and her vision blurred as tears welled in her eyes. Ethan stepped closer, his voice soft, but filled with strength. "You gave me food when no one else cared." He paused, looking into her eyes with deep gratitude. "You believed in me when I was invisible." Emily covered her mouth with her trembling hand, unable to speak, her heart pounding in her chest. Then Ethan held out his hand, his words echoing like a promise. "Today, I've come to give back what you gave me, hope." At that moment, time stood still, as kindness from years ago returned home, not forgotten, but reborn. Emily's tears finally fell, and she realized the boy she once helped had come back, carrying a miracle she never expected. Ethan slowly began to speak, his voice trembling with emotion. He revealed how Emily's kindness had shaped the course of his life. Because of the meals she gave, he never had to study on an empty stomach. Her encouragement and her quiet smile had given him the strength to dream. He stayed in school, worked harder than ever, and refused to give up. Years later, those small meals turned into the foundation of his success. He told her that he eventually built his own company, step by step, with her memory guiding him. Emily listened in silence, her hands covering her face as tears poured down. Then Ethan pulled out a shining set of keys and placed them in her hands. They weren't just car keys. They belonged to a brand new luxury car waiting outside. But that wasn't all. Ethan also gave her a folder, its weight heavy with meaning. Inside was the deed to a new home, fully paid for with her name on it. Emily's lips trembled as she whispered, "All this for me?" Ethan hugged her tightly and whispered back, "Your kindness saved me when I had nothing." His final words brought her to tears. "Now, Emily, it's my turn to take care of you."